My only challenge with being a mother is when it's time for short call, long call, those things. There I call other people. There I can.
Brenda would be like, Bridget,
your baby wants
Amara has food.
That's the only place I don't know what I'm going to do for my children, because the mom, Auntie Brenda, I want to poo-poo. Belinda. Welcome back to yet another topic of the 3Bs. Guys, we are excited. We've started a new topic about motherhood. We've told you how Belinda got a baby. Yeah. We've shared experiences about being a mother. I also have my experience as being a mother. Yeah. Not biological children, but I have raised these children of these people. My nieces, my nephews. I am those aunties who are the best. So, ladies, you have told us so much. You've told the people about how how your experience was as a first-time mother, how the decisions you made in terms of how do you parent this child, how do you deal. Belinda, you told us that for you, since you use nannies, your criteria is that they have to do some tests like HIV and so on. Bridget, for you said sometimes you take the children to your daughter to the grandparents or daycare. Yes. However, some parents may argue, some people may say that if you take your children to other places, they learn bad habits, they learn some are sexually abused, some are maybe taught bad words, heavy words. Basically, everyone, like you said, everyone has their own parenting style. So one man's meat is another man's poison. So the question now becomes, there are people out there who are afraid. They're like, I don't mind leaving my child, but what if my child, and we've had that sometimes sexual abuse is from people who are closest to us, uncles, aunties. Personally, I have phobia. I don't know if it's phobia, but I have phobia for males carrying female children. I don't like it. It scares me. I'm not comfortable with it, because between those laps of that male and a female child, a female baby, I don't know what is happening. I don't know. There are people who have
who are very sensitive
habits, so they are very sensitive. Even when it's a baby
male
for him,
organs,
he has already become active. So for me, one of the things I don't allow when I'm around is I don't allow men to carry my nieces. No. I don't. However, another person maybe now where you're over,
which can also be hard, because sometimes you can call the child, come, but the child refuses.
And sometimes don't even know what that child is enjoying. That child wants to stay there.
His uncle.
So, which brings me the question of how do you, as a parent, as a mother, how can you protect your children? Much as you'd like to have you time, me time, you'd like the children to trust other people with your children. We've heard of cases where house managers are the ones, sexually abusing these children. So we need to discuss these things, because these things are affecting families. They're happening in families. People are keeping them as secrets, traumatizing children. How do we do this, guys? Belinda? I know, I want to go to Bridget, but Bridget is into sexual productive fields. She may not finish. I want her to be the last one. So, Bill, tell us, what do you think of all this? Much as we want to trust people, how do we protect our children? How do we influence them the way we want? Yes, we want them to grow. How do we ensure? I know we can't do much, something's out of our control, but what's your take? What's your parenting advice?
Okay, I think it depends on the different stages of the child. Now, for example, for a child from 0 to 1 years, there's nothing much you can do to talk to them, to tell them, my baby, this is your private part, no one should touch you here. If you see someone touching you, you can come and tell me, I'm your secret keeper. That stage can't work. So this is mainly you're watching over your child. Like you have to do it physically. So meaning you just need to make sure your child is in a place or with a
safe
person you
space.
trust.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing much you can do.
Yeah.
And also with that vulnerability of the stage that she's in, I believe also so many children are molested in that time. We may not know the stories, but 0 to 1
Because
year.
they can't even talk
They
anyway.
can't even talk. So at the end of the day, as parents, we need to do our work as well. In this scenario, if you're leaving your child with a nanny, I know sometimes financially it may not be possible, but is it possible to have maybe some cameras? Is it possible not to
That's
leave?
what people are using cameras.
Yeah, recently a lot of people are installing cameras.
You
Yeah.
see everything that's going on. Is it possible to have not just the nanny at home? Can you have a second party?
Yeah, another
There,
person
someone
there.
else to watch
Another way.
over.
Yeah.
Because as you
To watch over what this
to
one
check,
is doing.
yes.
Checking on each other.
For example, for me, the Kiara's grandfather keeps saying he's more comfortable when Brandon is home.
Yeah.
with the
Because
nanny
he's an
because-
older,
and he's
maybe you need to say
Yeah.
Brandon's age so that people
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, Brian is about 7.
7 years.
So an older
this-
child
Yes,
too.
this is a child who will tell you
Who can report.
What's happening.
innocently. No, you didn't, because sometime recently something funny happened. So I asked the nanny, oh, did you give? I left and I made juice for Kiara. Did you give Kiara juice and what? And she was like, yes. And I honestly think she did. But the fact that Brandon didn't see it, it's like, no, you didn't give her juice. I didn't see again.
So it's an advantage for people who have like other children
Yes,
without.
the more time to watch over their sibling. Because I mean, if you can't afford cameras, not everyone can afford cameras. But if you can, that's better. Then 2, to have also another person. Like if you have another worker, maybe it's someone else home.
Oh, a relative.
A relative, yeah.
Someone else to watch over, to check.
Yeah.
I mean, even when things, God forbid, go wrong, you have someone else to give you a second voice of what
Second
happens
opinion,
usually
yeah.
at home. I think that's also one of the ideas I can give. Cameras, have second, either your child, your older child,
Yeah.
or someone else, a relative, especially at that stage when the child cannot talk.
Yeah.
2, for a stage where the child has started explaining, we need to make sure our children can tell us their secrets. Because I will keep, the moment children see this is Auntie Brenda, the child feels safe.
Yeah.
They don't know, they feel like whatever Auntie Brenda or Auntie Belinda or Auntie Bridget will do is safe. And yet that's not what happens. Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to talk to them, we need to teach them some of these things. At the end of the day, it's God that really helps, but we need to keep in touch and keep checking.
Like have conversations. Some parents are not comfortable with having certain conversations with their children. So how do you start certain conversations with, say, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old?
So I have Brandon at home. Brandon is 7 years, is our son.
Yeah.
Brandon the other day was telling me, because sometimes there are things you see and you're like, oh, Brandon, don't do this. Don't touch your private part yourself. Because if you don't teach a young boy that, he'll get to learn masturbation.
It becomes a habit.
That's how children start.
Yeah.
So I told him, don't touch that. And then I'm like, do you know the name of that private part of yours? He's like, it's called
What is that? Like I've had so many names, I've never heard of what?
And then I'm like, what is that? He's like, I don't want to say the other word.
Why?
And I'm like, why don't you just tell me the other word? Guess what the other word was? It was soup. That's what he thinks. So
I was thinking it's the other word, you know?
And I told him, no, that's called the penis.
It's important to know the name.
Yeah.
So he was even hard. It's called what? I have forgotten. He tell me, but you see, okay, I was trying to show
Keeps
him that we can
learning.
talk about things.
Yes.
So we need to teach our children that. Say, Bridget will dive more into that.
Yeah.
We can talk about our private parts.
Yeah.
So that you can come and say, today my friend at school touched me here. Do you think it's right? Because these things happen even with children. We are
Yes, because they're trying to discover
fellow
themselves.
children.
Yes.
So he told me, this time he touched me here. Is that okay? Is that right?
Yeah.
I can advise. So we need to be open with our children. Then, people, we need to learn to have bold conversations with these adults we are living home.
Yes.
When it
That's a
comes to
very good
uncles
point.
and aunties, it doesn't matter whether they think they're going to hurt their feelings.
Yes.
If you're not comfortable with someone, you need to.
The way they're holding your baby.
When the child is
Yes.
not around, especially because the child will think there's something a problem.
In private, like you can have these
Private,
conversations
yes.
with
And
them.
you're like, I'm not comfortable.
I'm not comfortable with you doing X, Y, Z.
And the other person will know you're not comfortable and they'll not also do
Yes.
those. Even if they had intentions, they'll be like, this person is woke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they
The thing
know
is,
that-
you we notice things and we keep quiet.
Exactly.
You notice a child, children love people. That child keeps going to the home manager's house or boys' quarters or the askari's house. And the child goes and even sleeps.
Exactly.
And this old person is also comfortable with your child sleeping there. You have to tell them.
Being there, even though it's just for 5 minutes, what are they doing inside the
Yes, and yet this child is innocent. This one is aware. So this older person should be able to say, go back, you're not supposed to be
Let's
here.
go to the sitting room where everyone is. Come and sit, play on the mat with your child if you're really invested in children. But we need to have these conversations. The problem is we get scared. We're like,
what will the other person
but
think?
the effect and the impact will be totally worse.
Worse over your child.
Yes. I mean, whether the intention is to do something wrong or not, we need to know. People need to know that there are things that need to be a girl
addressed.
You're a man, you're in the room. And now these days, people, it's not even about gender. It can be a man and your boy.
Yes, even a girl with your yes. So the conversation
is so open with also the adults as we talk about children.
And we can do it with compassion. You don't have to be tough. You don't have to be rough. You don't have to be offensive. With compassion, say, look, I love you. You're my brother. You're my sister. You're my uncle. But these are the boundaries we have to set when it comes to children. Yeah, I love that.
And then maybe you're just addressing the sexual abuse, but another thing can be physical abuse. So how do you? Does that still your point of talking to the adult and telling them what you expect?
For example, they could be saying this child
has to be beaten
this child is so wicked. It's like there's
the words they use to your child.
Is affecting your child.
So you should speak up.
You need to speak up and have
and say, guys, I'm not comfortable with you talking to my child in this tone.
It could even be a teacher.
Yes, could even be a teacher.
Yes.
Recently, they're telling me a lady has lost her job at Brandon School because she beat up
a child.
So you need to have these conversations. When you
take your child, say, my child, if she has done something, call me and I come and
because recently a workmate told me the child has been coming late for 1 week to school. Now she didn't know that they were punishing her daughter for coming late to school, and they make her pick up rubbish everywhere. You're killing that child's self-esteem, and it's not even her fault.
It's the parent who has a challenge.
Why don't you call the parent
and say why is the child because how is the child going to make a decision?
Her confidence, you're punishing her self-esteem, you're hurting her feelings. So really, we need some of these things need to be changed.
It is not easy to speak up. It really is not.
Because you don't want to offend the teachers.
And also sometimes this person is older than you. They are taking care of your child. Sometimes a lot of parents say, don't tell the house help that. Don't tell the teacher that. The teacher is in charge. What if they poison your child? I feel like we need to get to a place where we can neutralize these fears because at the end of the day, we all want one thing for the child, progress and growth and, proper child development. One of the things I want to mention is, to be honest, there's something I'm not comfortable with in the African culture. This idea of teaching children that every male who's older than you is an uncle. Every female who's older than you is an auntie. Children grow up believing that aunties and uncles are people we trust, people we love, people who care about us. So for them, even when you tell them,
the
shopkeeper is called uncle, great auntie. Next time uncle is going to come and tell your child, let's go and do X, Y, Z. And because the child in their mind knows that uncles and aunties are good people, they easily trust. I'm of the view that we also need to start teaching our children to call these people Miss and Mr. Those titles are there out of respect. If someone is not related to your child, they are not aunties, they are not uncles. Please, let us not teach our children to feel safe with people who are wrong, who might be, they may not be wrong, but these are strangers, and it's an African culture. We've taught our children, everyone who's older uncle, everyone who's older auntie. And these same people end up harming our children because our children are trusting them as uncles and aunties. Same way our children trust the police. For them, they are taught police is there to protect you. So anyone who says I'm a policeman is a safe person, is a good person. I don't like it. I even feel like even for my own relatives, it's hard for now, but I feel like for me, I want you to earn that place. Let the child say, now I feel safe to call this person auntie and uncle. Even for my own relatives, what's wrong with a child calling you Bridget or Belinda? Why have we taught ourselves that that title is everything. Yet a child, do you know that so many times children come to me and say, can you be my mother? Do you know a child can choose you? Even when you know that, can you be my mother? Can you be my auntie? Why? Because you have created that environment of trust and love and care. But this idea of we need to discuss it, and me, I'm not going to teach my children.
We actually have our sister who, her nanny, her children's nanny, she calls them Miss.
Oh, Julie.
Yeah,
Julie says if you're working at a place, her children are going to call you
If you're Joanne, Miss Joanne, that children call you Miss.
Yeah, because this idea of teaching children that you have aunties and uncles
who keep coming and going,
who just keep coming and going. How do aunties just keep coming and going and what? And then you're teaching your child to have that ambivalence, so kind of relationship of thinking people don't stay, people leave. So I feel like you said, we need to teach our children and to talk to these people and say, look, you're working here, you're going to be Miss or Mr. You are an askari or you're a shamba boy, you're going to be Mr. Or Sir or whatever. But you becoming uncle, then my child trusts you. Then before you know it, she's in your room, sleeping comfortably because she's with uncle.
Moving her dress.
Tell us. This is a very removing her dress. Kids love to undress. I've never understood it. Before you know it, she's naked, walking around. You guys parenting.
But indeed, protecting children, like it's something you have to be intentional on, but it's also really God's grace. We have to pray about it. I mean, we'll do all these things, but really pray. Because you can set certain rules and everything, but you cannot know still what will be the breaking point. So like we said, the things about when it comes to physical, like if you don't want your child to be beaten, you can still. But then there are also those certain people who you would be comfortable with the child beating, and the child should also know. Like for example, they can't say auntie you should be able to be like, yes, they disciplined you. Yes, they done. Yes, they should also know. Because at the same time we have to have a sort of balance. We may totally ignore and say no, now what? But at the same time, the children also have to get a bit of discipline. And since we are getting supporting systems, they should those supporting systems that we've tried. For example, if I'm taking my child to the grandmother, I'm not going to tell the grandmother, don't beat my child. Because she's a figure who I know if she raised me and I turned out like this,
then she can do something.
Yes, then she can do something to my child. Then then the mental and emotional abuse, of course, the words training the people around them to learn to say yes and not to kill their confidence. Then when it comes to the sexual abuse, like especially what Belinda was talking about, and it's something that has been researched, that children, especially when a child especially now they can talk, children who know what these so-called parts, knowing what they actually call, for the male the boy to know it's a penis, for the girl to know it's a vulva or vagina. Vagina is a common one. It's very important because she'll come and specifically tell whichever adult who she trusts that so and so touched my vagina, touched my vulva. So yes, I know it's easy at the beginning to tell them these words we come up with, susu, what, and all that, choo, wee wee. But with time, we need to actually tell them what these parts are, because if we don't, these other terms, nicknames, could be used for other things. The other time, there's a time I was somewhere, and the child, for them, they call their food choo-choo. But here, the vulva and vagina is choo-choo. So you can see the mixture. So even you, the parent, the child will come, my choo-choo, my what? And you may get confused, like you don't know. So yes, so it's important for them to know. But then also, even those who usually assault, research has showed that they fear children who know their organs. They fear them. Yes, because what more do they know? And those children could easily say it out very well. Comfortably. So, then also, we have things of making sure, like your child should be able to talk to you and know, but then also study your child's organ and know how it looks like, so that in case you see any slight change, you're able to say, you're able to know, because these organs are different, but knowing how your child looks like. And
sometimes we're afraid, we don't even look at our own.
Yes.
Many times we don't even look at our children's organs, sexual.
Could be tampering with it. So study it and understand it, how it looks like, how enlarged it is, or how small. Look at all the different parts. Yes, so that you can know if it's tampered with. You see at least you see there is a difference. Like this is not how it was. Yes, and then openness for the child to know. Then there are simple things like songs that people have used time and time. Like if you touch my private parts, I will tell. You know, such a small thing. You can start with such I will tell. In that it remains in the child's head that
no one's supposed to touch.
And then also them to learn privacy with time. As they grow, as has become toddlers, they should know, when I'm going to use the toilet, I close the door. When I'm changing,
I need to tie my towel.
Yes, I need to put on a towel. You keep reminding them so that they learn to keep those to know that this is not for everyone. I shouldn't just walk out and everyone looks at me. They also learn to protect themselves. Like, go out of my room, I want to dress up. You know, the child should know. Exactly. You're not about excuse me, even though you're there, mother.
You enter the room without knocking. They ask. You didn't knock. Come on.
I'm dressing up. Excuse me. And then also learn to, for example, we have some of our children love cuddling, kisses and all. For example, my daughter is that kind. In that fighting that is not easy, but there are certain things you show her you need to discuss with her. Now, like I showed her that there are children who develop like bruises from being kissed, like pimples, So one time when I was reading that article and seeing the pictures, I read with her, I showed her those pictures. Now she also knows a bit that let it not be kisses everyone. It's like, I don't want to get those things on my mouth. So keep talking. And the videos also help.
Guys, sorry, we can go on and on and on. Like, this topic is wide. There are so many suggestions. Please, if you have suggestions out there on how do we protect our children from physical, mental, sexual kind of abuse, please hit us up on all our pages. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, share.
Not forgetting, by the way, the community power is still important. You people, if you see someone's daughter or what going like in the Askari's house or what, tell the parents so that they are more keen or something.
Like, we shouldn't be. Let's not be like
my life,
my business,
none of my business.
So it's not about to stop. We are going to continue this discussion in our next episode. Please look out for our episodes. Look out for the 3Bs on all social media platforms. Shout outs to Forever Media. Shout outs to Exquisite Collections at Bagala Plaza. Beautiful clothes. Shout outs to our makeup artists for these episodes, the Makeup Maven. And we are the 3Bs.